Hello, my friends. We have some Homeworx candles to talk about today. Now, over the last month, 2 months, I would say, I have been receiving some candles that have been coming into my collection. Some of these products, in full disclosure, are PR products. They were sent to me from Homeworx. I am a Homeworx ambassador, and I will have my discount code linked in the description box down below. But a couple of these were also products that I picked up during the Christmas in July sale. I know, that was almost 2 months ago. If you missed my last video, which was my Bath & Body Works haul, I told you guys a little bit about what was going on in my personal life and why I've been kind of on a hiatus from my channel, but I'm slowly dipping my toe back into filming content to share with all of you. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about some new fall and even some new holiday or Christmas candles. And I thought that it would be fun to just sit down and share my thoughts with all of you. If you are coming across my channel for the first time, hi, I'm Katie. I like to talk about predominantly home fragrance here on my channel, and I sprinkle in a little bit of beauty here and there. So let's not waste any more time because I've got a lot of candles to talk about and we don't want to waste any time. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Christmas in July candles that came to me. So 2 of these I did purchase on my own. The first one is Grandma's Gingerbread. Now, one of the things I like about these candles, they are available on QVC. They are coming in duos. I'm not sure if any of them are sold out, but if anything that I talk about throughout the course of this video is still currently available, I will make sure to have it linked in that description box. But the fragrance notes on this are warm gingerbread, ground cinnamon, crushed nutmeg, and brown sugar icing. I really love the lids on these ones, though. It's really cute. I feel like the packaging is nice. So this one's nice. I know that a lot of people have had hit and miss experiences with Harry Slatkin's take on gingerbread. I like this one. It's not too pungent to the nose. It smells very much like a gingerbread or molasses cookie, like baking in the oven. This is not like a gingerbread house. I like this. This is a very nice, warm, cozy scent. I feel like this is a fragrance that you could burn like late November all the way until post-Christmas. You could probably get away with burning this one in January too. That's always something that I personally look for when I'm purchasing holiday candles, because there are certain fragrances, some of them I will discuss here, that are quintessentially, they make me think of Christmas trees. They make me think of the month of December specifically. But if you're like me, the month of December is only so long and I can only burn so much in my house. And so I typically like to look for a couple of good tree scents, but then I go ahead and look for other fragrances that I can burn post-Christmas or even beforehand, like in that like weird place of like in November when you're starting to decorate for Christmas, but it's not yet quite Christmas because we have to hit Thanksgiving. I don't know. Maybe it's just a thing in my head, but that's where I fall into that. All right, another fragrance that I picked up from QVC. This is Twas the Night Before. So this label to me looks very similar to the Sleigh Ride label that was showing up in a lot of Marshall's, TJ Maxx last year. But the fragrance notes on this are Midnight Frost, Green Balsam, Baccarat Rose, and Smoked Cedarwood. Now, if you have been with me for a while, you guys know that one of the things I discovered last year was that I really like cedarwood in a lot of candles. And it's not necessarily a fragrance that I would have thought that I would have enjoyed, but when I look back on candles that I really like burning, I noticed that a lot of them have a common scent note of cedarwood in there. So this, let's go ahead and sniff it. I like this. I get that cedarwood in here. I get like a warm tree scent. I feel like this is a fragrance. If you liked last year's Fireside Christmas, was it Fireside Christmas Tree? There was a Christmas tree scent that was like Fireside. It was like Fireside Christmas Tree. This fragrance reminds me a little bit of that. If you like hearth scents, now it's not necessarily smoky to my nose. It's not like Winter Fireside or even like the Crackling Fireside or any of the like fire notes that Harry has come out with. This is very nice. I get a tree note, but it's a warm tree note. This is not like your cool in the forest, icy forest tree note. Midnight Frost, Green Balsam. Yeah, the tree note that I'm smelling is balsam on here. I honestly have not smelled a Baccarat Rose, so I don't know what that smells like. But in terms of like a whatever they're saying would make up an accord for frost. I don't get that really. This is really nice. I feel like, again, if you like that fireside Christmas tree, then this smells kind of similar to it. I don't have one in my collection to compare it to, but just like going off of my scent memory, I feel like those two are comparable. All right. I believe that the rest of these candles, you guys, were all sent to me. Now, I want to make this perfectly clear. These were not like all sent to me at one time. These are candles that have been kind of accumulating in my collection over the last 2 months. So I want to say thank you so much to Homeworx for generously sending these candles to me. And here I am finally getting around to sharing them with you. So while we're still on the candles available at QVC, this is Deck the Halls. Now, I absolutely love this label on here. Oh, it's so beautiful. And one of the things that I always give Homeworx is that their labels, these beautiful wraparound labels, when you light the candle, they just lend to the ambiance of your home. The labels usually light up. Oh, and I know that this one with this like fireside and you've got the stockings hanging in the Christmas tree, I just know that this one's gonna be beautiful lit up. So Deck the Halls is a returning favorite from Homeworx. In fact, they released it last year in very limited supply. In fact, I actually have 2 of these I picked up from Macy's. They went on sale for like $10 or clearance after Christmas last year, and I thought for $10 I would go ahead and pick them up. Now they do have the weird pour date of June 9th, 2022, which most of my candles last year with that pour date did not do well. So I've had like 2 that performed well for me. So I'm hoping that they'll do well for me. So I was really glad to get the new pour of this one. So the pour date on this one is March 8th of 2023. The fragrance notes are blue spruce, frozen evergreen, glacial eucalyptus, and iced moss. This scent to me, okay, like how I was talking about earlier, I smell this and I think of Christmas time. It's not necessarily a fragrance that I would burn in January. It's not necessarily one that I would burn in November. That being said, you guys, I'm a seasonal burner. I know that there are plenty of you, and I give more power to you, who burn whatever you want, whenever you want. You might be burning Christmas scents in July and you don't care. But to me, this is like a December only candle. This is a candle that I have to be burning when my Christmas decor is up. It's very much just like that. It reminds me of just bringing in a Christmas tree. You've just decorated it. It's again like a warm Christmas tree scent to me. It reminds me a lot of my childhood. Like just that classic, it's hard for me to describe other than that this is just like a classic Christmas tree type of fragrance. So I really like that one. And then a new release this year is Dreaming of a White Christmas. Again, another label that I know is going to look absolutely stunning when it is burning. The fragrance notes on this are winter air, crushed peppermint, marshmallow fluff, and white birch wood. Okay. This one is good. This, I get that marshmallow note in here, the sweetness of it. I don't really detect peppermint. I get marshmallow and what? They say white birchwood. I can smell that in here for sure. There is kind of like a little bit of a woody note to this that I feel like balances out the sweetness of the marshmallow note in here. I feel like a lot of candles, when they incorporate a marshmallow, you need something a little bit more woodsy or smoky or something, because otherwise to my nose, it becomes too cloying, it's too sweet. So I feel like this is a very beautifully balanced scent. Now, I believe that I've seen in the Homeworx group that some people have been experiencing like a lighter throw on these. Now, you guys know me, I just said I'm a seasonal burner, so I have not lit up any of these yet. I will be getting to them likely in the month of December. I do plan to also revive my Saturday 6 series where I give you kind of some mini reviews of candles that I have been burning throughout the week to let you know how they're burning for me. I do want to try to get back into my dedicated candle reviews, but you guys know I just have a lot of life going on right now, and eventually I do plan to get there. So, you know, I hope that this is helpful for you. But those are the candles that I have that were available through the QVC Christmas in July. Like I said, those are being sold in duos, and if they are still available, I will make sure that I have them linked down below. All right, I have to speed this up a little bit because I still have quite a few candles to talk about, and I just need to pick up the pace a little bit. Otherwise, this is going to be a super long video. All right, I have one more holiday fragrance that was sent to me, and this one I think is going to be the most beautiful label of all when it is lit up. This is Christmas Morning. Again, similar to that, what was the other one that I just had? The Dreaming of a White Christmas, like where you get these little twinkling lights. Fragrance notes are rich apple butter, cinnamon sugar, warm apple brandy, and buttered vanilla. I do believe that this is a returning fragrance. I think this was available maybe through QVC last year. It's funny, this one I wouldn't really deem as like a Christmas scent to me. Now that's because I associate tree scents with that. This I do smell like an apple butter in here. I don't know, I don't really have warm apple brandy on Christmas morning, but that's probably because I have 3 kids. I like this one a lot. I smell the apple in here. Brandy, this is not an overly boozy scent on cold. I know Harry can sometimes get a little carried away with those boozy scents if you don't like a boozy note. Rich apple butter. The apple, I don't really get a lot of cinnamon sugar. I do get some vanilla. But this is like a nice sweet gourmand fragrance. Now I will say that this is one that I might need to be a little bit careful with. The funny thing is that I am finding as I'm heading into the month of September, I typically tend to burn a lot of apple fragrances, and I don't know why, but some apple fragrances are coming off almost cloying to my nose this year. I don't know why. And so this was one that I feel like I could quickly see becoming like too much for me, but we'll just have to see upon burn with that one. Speaking of apple fragrances that are borderline cloying for me, I have to be careful with. I did receive this 3-wick from Homeworx. This is their deep dish apple pie. Now I have already started to burn this one. You will see the wicks are doing pretty well. I did burn this one over in my guest bathroom, and it did decently well in there. This to me, oh, let me list the fragrance notes. Gooey apple nectar, cinnamon, vanilla, pie crust. It's just a very basic scent. I will tell you that I do not get any pie crust note in this. I get mainly that nectar note, like that apple, gooey apple nectar. Yeah, there's a touch of cinnamon in there, a little bit of vanilla, but this is mainly like apple nectar to my nose. And it's one that I'm like, it's okay, but it's not, I don't know, it's just not a favorite to me this year, but I think that that's almost like my own personal taste. If you like super sweet apple fragrances, I think that you would like that one. Now, one of the things that is nice about this size, the 3-wicks, I have seen them go on sale for pretty cheap, you know, like especially, well, there is going to be some sales upcoming here, which I will talk about at the end of this video, but these 3-wicks, I do find that they can be hit or miss in terms of the strength and throw on them, which, I mean, the 4-wicks are that way too. But the nice thing about these is if you own a candle crock, you can go ahead and put them in there. All right, what else do I want to talk about? Let's talk about a candle that is kind of interesting that they sent it for this time of year, because this to me is more of like a springtime, summer type of fragrance. More springtime to me. Again, I'm a seasonal burner. This is Wildflower Meadow. So the fragrance notes on this one are wildflowers, apple blossoms, green pear, and clover grass. Now my friend Fiona over at Wax and Facts on Instagram, she said that this one smells very similar to, is it clover blossom? There's another clover scent that Homeworx has had that I have never purchased before. This is a very green fragrance to my nose. It's not herbaceous. I do get some of that pear in here. Not apple. It's not like green grass type of fragrance, but it's definitely one that makes me think of the springtime. It's fresh, there's pear in here, but it's not necessarily a pear fragrance that I would associate with the fall. It's not floral, but it's green. That's the best way that I can describe it. I like it, but it's definitely one that I will likely be setting aside until the spring of next year. All right, let's go ahead and get into some fall candles that were sent to me. Now one, oh my goodness, I was so excited when I saw that this one was being sent to me in PR, because this is a staple fragrance that I love from Homeworx. I've been purchasing it every year from them. And so when I saw that they were sending it to me, I was so excited. So of course, this is the beloved Harvest Leaves. Now this has that beautiful cranberry colored wax in it as well. The fragrance notes on Harvest Leaves are spiced pumpkin, mandarin, cranberry, fir balsam, and applewood. Oh, I love this one. This is like, you get that cranberry note in here. A little bit of the greenness but of a balsam, but not, there's nothing in here remotely that makes me think Christmas tree. Oh, this is just so good. This is one that I feel like I can burn it right now as we head into September. I could also burn this in November when I'm kind of done with all the pumpkin stuff. I don't really smell pumpkin in here. This is a cranberry scent. So if you are somebody who loves cranberry scents, but it's not that super tart cranberry, it's like a sweet cranberry that's balanced out with a little bit of earthiness. Oh, that one is so good. So very, very excited to have that one back in my collection. I also got another one, which quite frankly, you guys, I've never tried before. And I'm not sure what I think about it. So this is Autumn Days. Again, another label that I think is going to light up beautifully. The fragrance notes are wood, patchouli, citrus, and pine. So, oh, this one is very pine heavy to me. I know a lot of people love this. If you love very like, this pine is almost like astringent to me. Kind of, I don't want to say this reminds me of pine sol, but it's a very astringent, sharp pine scent in here. I smell a tiny bit of that patchouli in the background, but this one, I think what's throwing me off with this one is I feel like this is a fragrance that I would be more apt to burn if I lived in an area that was like heavily wooded, if I lived in a forest, like when I've gone up to the White Mountains. I think of that place when I smell this, because it reminds me of just like a densely packed forest. If you're new to my channel, I live in the desert of Arizona, so I've got to drive about an hour and a half to find some pine trees. It's nice, but I feel like it just doesn't fit my home. I don't know. It's nice, but it's pretty astringent. So I don't know if that's really in my wheelhouse, but I'll give it a few burns and see if I like it. And if not, I'm sure that I can always gift it to somebody else. I have lots of friends who like their homes to smell nice too. All right, let's go ahead and talk about, a diffuser that they sent me, a reed diffuser. This is Fall Farmstand. Now, I remembered having the Fall Farmstand candle last year. Now, I am on the fence about actually opening this up and showing it to you, because I'm contemplating possibly gifting this one. I personally don't really use reed diffusers in my home. I get a little bit nervous, and you guys can let me know in the comment box down below if I have right to be nervous about this. I do have a cat, and she jumps up on our bathroom counters because she always wants us to turn on the sink for her, even though she has a water fountain that she's the most spoiled cat. But anyways, I always get a little bit nervous about her jumping up on the counters and maybe sniffing or licking these. Can you guys let me know? You know, I'm not so sure about pet safety with that. So let me know about that, but it was very kind of them. Now the reed diffusers, I know a lot of people like these as a flameless option. They're also available, you know, or not available, but one of their purposes is also so that way you can have fragrance continuously in your home. So like say you're out somewhere and you're going to have people coming over, you don't have to worry about like, oh, what does my house smell like right now? But yeah, let me know about the pet safety, because if it's okay for pets, then I probably will go ahead and open it up and try it out. But I'm a little bit nervous about that with my beloved Ruby. All right, fragrance that is brand new to the Homeworx lineup is Patchouli Teakwood. So this one was actually just released this past week. Homeworx is currently having a sale. I believe it's buy one, get one, 60% off, free shipping over $40. You may not use ambassador codes or rewards codes with that, which I don't know. I don't know why they do that on certain sales. I can honestly understand the ambassador codes. That's fine. But I do feel like the rewards codes should be able to be used no matter what, because I feel like those are points that you earn based off of your purchases. You should be able to use those whenever you want. I don't know. Whatever. But I do want to let you know, I cannot give you any details, but I do know that there are some upcoming sales where ambassador codes and rewards codes will be able to be used. So I can't give you any more information about that, but there are some sales coming up. So if you are wanting to hold out, or if you're thinking, are they ever going to let us use those in combination with a sale? Yes, they will. So make sure that you are subscribed to my channel here, because I will post about that in my community feed. I will also let you know over on my Instagram page when that happens. But fragrance notes on this one. Okay, this was another one. When I saw that they were sending this to me, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. So patchouli, cedar teakwood, bourbon oak, and rich plum. Now it's funny, patchouli I feel like gets a bad rap because it is actually in a lot of fragrances, but patchouli is also associated with like earthy, as Melanie puts it, dirty hippie type of scent. Sorry, don't mean to offend you if you are a hippie or a dirty hippie or whatever, but people do associate patchouli with that. This fragrance is another one kind of with that autumn days that I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. Now, the reason I am going to burn it is because I've been burning candles long enough to know that sometimes I don't really care for a fragrance on cold sniff. And then when I light it up, when that wax is warming, this fragrance totally transforms. So this is one that I'm willing to give a try. Yeah, I did tell you the fragrance notes on this. I will tell you, cedar is the fragrance that sticks out to my nose the most. I feel like if you are somebody who likes earthy, woodsy, I wouldn't say that this is like a masculine cologne type of fragrance, not at all. This is definitely more in that earthy vibe. Then I think that you might like this one. The cedar note is the most dominant. I do get a touch of that bourbon note here and there. I don't get it every time I smell it. But I know yesterday when I first opened this, I did get a touch of that like boozy bourbon type of fragrance in there. Patchouli is slightly in the background. I don't really detect plum. But yeah, see, I just sniffed it and I'm like, oh, there's that bourbon note. The bourbon and the cedar are pretty much the most dominant notes, but I also would not say that the bourbon note is so heavy that that's what I pick up the most in here. All right. I have 2 Halloween candles, and then I have one more candle that has not even come to the homeworx.shop website. Or actually, no, they're now SLATKIN CO. They changed the website name. I'm gonna have to get used to that. But it's now SLATKIN CO, so that way they can go ahead and incorporate some other brands that are underneath the their corporate umbrella, and so that way they can have them all on the website. But I do have another candle that I'm gonna save that one for last because it's gotten a little bit of buzz over on some social media platforms, but it is not showing as available yet on the site, and I'm hoping that it will come to the site hopefully by Labor Day weekend. We'll see. But let me go ahead and talk about the 2 Halloween candles that they sent over to me. So this is Possessed Plum. So I actually saw this candle and I was like, oh, this totally looks like a candle my cousin Desiree would love because she loves purple and black. And then I sniffed it and I was like, she'd probably really like this scent too. So the fragrance notes are black plum, wicked cherry, spellbinding incense, and patchouli. Now I have said this before, I don't celebrate Halloween in my household. It's not, and I'm not like placing anything on you if you love it or whatnot. It's just not really a holiday that is in line with my personal beliefs, and so we don't really do much for it in my house. But I do still like some of the fragrances that come along with it. So this is interesting. I do get that plum note. It's got this beautiful deep purple wax. It's not necessarily a fragrance that, like, if I were to pick this up in, say I were going into like Bath and Body Works or something and I picked up the scent, it's not one that I would probably purchase. But that being said, I'm not really like, I don't want to say I'm not a fan of plum scents because I haven't burned them before, but just on cold sniff, they don't appeal to me. Plum, but it's not like a summery plum. Like this is very much like a deep scent. There is an earthiness to this. that I feel like this is a good Halloween scent. I do get a little touch of that patchouli in the background, but it's nice. Again, another one I'm gonna go ahead and burn and see if I like. Another Halloween candle that they sent to me, and this is one actually that I had last year, and it's so funny. I was watching Melanie, Mr. Kong's video about some of the candles that she has received, and it's funny because she brought up something and I was like, I thought the exact same thing when I smelled it last year, and so I'm like, okay, I'm glad that that we're like, you know, sometimes when you're smelling things, you want to make sure, like, are other people smelling the same thing that I am, or is this just all in my head? All right, so this is Midnight Moon. I like the label on this one, actually. It's not too creepy. You know, some labels get a little, like, straight up demonic to me, and I can't handle those. But these are cutesy. Like, I can deal with those. All right, the fragrance notes on this are autumn leaves, fresh pumpkin, dark woods, ginger crystals. All right, so what does this smell like? This, to me, if you like Bath & Body Works leaves, you would like this fragrance. I feel like this is like, it's not as much as like a smack you in the face as strong as leaves, but I feel like this is like a toned down version of leaves. If you like leaves, if you like Kringle Candles Leaf Peeper, you will like this fragrance. It's kind of funny to me. I don't see this as like a Halloween scent. This is one that I would burn more so in like September. Although it might be one that I can kind of like switch up and throw in, because I tend to do like apple and like leaf type of scents in September, and then October I just go straight up pumpkin everything. So I think this one will be nice for me to kind of add some variety into my October burning. But I really like this fragrance. That one's really, really good. So like I said, I had that one last year, really enjoyed it, and so I was happy to see it come back again. All right, and for the grand finale, a candle that is not yet listed on the Homeworx.shop. Oh no, they're no longer Homeworx.shop, SLATKIN CO website, but was sent to me. I just received it yesterday, and I've burned it twice so far, is this peanut butter and raspberry jam. So the fragrance notes on this are peanut butter, raspberry jam, wow, got really creative there, caramelized sugar, and vanilla bean. So of course we don't know exactly what exact notes they're using to come up with those accords, but I like this scent. It was funny because when they initially sent this to me, or when I saw that this was being released, I was like, that's kind of an odd release for this time of year. I still kind of think that this would probably be a little bit, this would have been a more appropriate release to come in. I would say maybe like mid-July or so, because I feel like this is a good August scent when you're like, I'm not really sure what to burn. I still want maybe some berry notes, but maybe with a little bit more warmth. You know, we're winding down summer, but it's still hot outside. So what does this smell like to me? Okay, I pick up the raspberry in here, but it is balanced, like how I was talking about, like you balance out like a sweetness with something a little bit more like dense. I wouldn't say that I necessarily smell peanut butter when I smell this. It's not like the peanut butter waffle cone. That one is just straight up like peanuts. This is raspberry, but not fruity, summery raspberry. I really like this. I actually told my husband, I said, you know what's funny? And I do not mean this in a negative way at all. This is in like a very endearing way. If you are a child of the 70s or the 80s, do you guys remember like all of the toys that we had that were like scented? So this reminds me kind of like a, I want to say it was maybe strawberry shortcake. Was it Her Toys? Or like there was a Barbie. There were some toys in the late 80s, early 90s that kind of reminded me of this. I actually really like it. This is a nice fragrance. If you are somebody who maybe gets burned out with all of the traditional fall fragrances, maybe you just want to like change up your palette, or you're not ready yet to burn fall fragrances, I think that this is a really nice scent. Now, what I am going to tell you after 2 burns, and you can let me know in the comment box down below if you guys want me to do a dedicated review on this. I probably will, just because it's a new fragrance and I'm hearing it getting some buzz. I will tell you after the first 2 burns, that the wicks are doing very well for me. I have not needed to trim them at all. They're staying upright. They're like that medium-sized wick, so they're not super flimsy. The wax has pulled out beautifully. I haven't had any issues with that. I will tell you that the strength and throw on this one is, in my home right now on these first 2 burns, it's a low medium. I would say it's like a 4.5, 5. I will say, in fairness, the air conditioning is still running 24/7 at my house. Again, Arizona, we're not gonna be turning off that air conditioning until probably late October. So I do know that air conditioning can impact the strength and throw of a fragrance in your home, but it's very pleasant. I feel like this is one that would not be offensive. So if you're concerned about people coming into your home and maybe they're a little bit sensitive to fragrance, this would be a good one to burn. So I do like it. I get that raspberry, but it is balanced out really beautifully with like a peanut butter note, but it's not necessarily a fragrance that you would smell right off the bat and be like, oh, that's peanut butter. It's really nice. So I am really enjoying it so far, and I will keep burning it so that way I can develop a little bit more concise thoughts for you. So that is it. That was a pretty lengthy video. I hope I got all of my thoughts across for all of you. Once again, I want to say thank you so much to Homeworx Candles for sending me quite a few of these candles for review purposes. Let me know in the comment box down below, are any of these part of your collection? Are any of them ones that you are curious about? Would you like to see dedicated reviews on any of these? I would love your feedback down below. As I said earlier, when this video goes up, there's currently a buy one, get one 60% off sale going on over at the SLATKIN CO website. And also make sure that you are following me here on my YouTube channel and also over on my Instagram channel, because I will be letting you guys know when there are any kind of sales going on, and my discount code, all of that stuff is in the box below. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me out. Subscribe if you're new, and you guys know how I feel. Until my next video, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.